Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Raha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. I'm Ari Azabak out of the GMS Dallas camp. And this lesson here, we're going to get into, a couple of verses, well, actually a few verses in Psalms, the second chapter, that I just want to focus in on. And that's, our enemies, okay? And what's going to happen to them, when YAHAWASHI return, all right? And I'm just going to kind of give a brief overview, using some precepts of what verse 9 means in Psalms, the second chapter. All right. So let's go ahead and get Psalms 2, and I'm going to just start from verse 7. And it reads, I will declare the decree. Yahweh had said unto me, Thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. And this is going into, YAHAWASHI and his rulership. Okay. And it reads, Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance. All right. And the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. You see? And we're just going to go ahead and see how that's going to take place. And the same thing with, when YAHAWASHI had died on the cross, doing his death, burial, and resurrection, he ascended up. And let's grab that real quick. That's in the book of Acts. I think that's in the first chapter. And likewise, he went up the same way he's going to come down. All right. Let's see what verse is that. All right. This is... All right. I know it's in Acts. Just give me a second. All right. Okay, here it is right here. All right. This is Acts chapter 1 and verse 9. All right. Because this is talking about YAHAWASHI and his rulership. All right. So this is Acts 1 and 9. And it reads, And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up. Who was taken up? YAHAWASHI in a cloud, which means the chariot, received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel. You see, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same YAHAWASHI which taketh up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner as you have seen him go into heaven. Okay. So let's read that again. Verse 11, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? The same YAHAWASHI which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner as you have seen him go into heaven. So when he returned, it's going to be the same way. All right. And this is what verse 7 and 8 is going into, in Psalms, the second chapter. All right. So I'm going to read that again in Psalms, the second chapter, verse 7. And it reads, I will declare the decree. The Lord Yahweh had said unto me, Thou art my son, which is YAHAWASHI. This day have I begotten thee. And this is going into his rulership, YAHAWASHI and his rulership. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, which are slaves, all right, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. So when he's coming back for the chosen and the elect. And he's also going to do something else, because we're going to read verse 9. And it reads, thou shalt break them with the rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them into pieces like a potter's vessel. Okay. And this is where I want to get into the precepts to show you how that's going to take place. All right. Let's grab, first of all, let's get Revelation, the 11th chapter. And this is what's taking place right now. Okay. This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 12. And it reads, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And as they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Okay, so that and they heard a great voice from heaven saying that they is the chosen and the elect. Okay, that's the elect. And it says, come up hither into the chariots, just like YAHAWASHI did. That's why I read Acts, chapter 1, starting from, I think the meat was in verse 8 and 9. And this is the same way when he come back. He said, this is how, this is what was going to happen to us. We was going to go up there the same way. That's why he asked, why are you staring and gazing up into the heavens? So we're going to read this again in Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither, talking about the elect. And as they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Okay. Now I want to go into Wisdom of Solomon real quick. Let's get that. Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, because it's going to tell you the same thing, the exact same thing. And it reads, then shall the Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. And it's talking about our enemies. When they see it, they shall be troubled with fear, with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. Okay. So this is what that's going into. They're going to see it. Our enemies going to see, and even the wicked 2/3 of our people, of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, going to see the salvation of the elect, the chosen and the elect. All right. And mainly our enemies. Okay. All right. Verse 3, and it says, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of the spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. All right. So these devils, these wicked 2/3, they're going to know that they should have taken heed from the prophets. Okay. All right. So now let's go back to Revelation again. And let's get verse 13. And it reads, in the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and the earthquake was slain of men 7,000, which means completion. And that great earthquake of the 10th part of the city, that's talking about America and 10 FEMA songs that makes up America in zones. And it reads, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, which is a completed number, and the remnant were affrighted, you see, and gave glory to the Most High of heaven, because they were in the chariots already. We just read in verse 12. Okay, so they in the chariots already watching this, the chosen and the elect, seeing the destruction that's happening, on earth in America. All right. So we still on the subject matter of Psalms, the 2nd chapter. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. So I'm just taking you through how that's going to take place. So right now you're seeing that the chosen and the elect has been taken up, right? So now let's get Revelation, the 21st chapter, okay? This is Revelation chapter 21. Salakia verse 1, and it reads, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, and that new heaven that is speaking about is rulership, what we're reading in Psalms 2, 7, and 8. That's YAHAWASHI and his rulership in the new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. Why? Because of all of the destruction that had taken place. Okay? From the nuclear ICBM missiles. And there was no more sea. In verse 2, and it reads, and I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, and we're people before it's a place, coming down from the Most High out of heaven. That's the chariots. So those are the elect, the chosen and elect coming down out of the chariots. You see, prepare as a bride adorned for her husband. Verse 3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, which are the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites. And the Most High himself shall be with them and be their power. Verse 4, it reads, and the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more debt. Okay? So we don't have to worry about being in captivity anymore under our enemies and oppressors, all right? Because we'll be in a second covenant. That's what this is going into. And really, when we, Lord willing, we those men and women, when they are called into the chariots, come up hither, that's when the second covenant is taking place, because you get the new bodies, which are the immortal bodies, all right? And it reads, and there shall be no more debt, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. All right. So let's go ahead and get Ezekiel real quick, because it's building up to, thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces like a pot of stone. And I'm just going through how this is taking place. All right. Let's get Ezekiel. All right, Ezekiel, the 25th chapter. All right, verse 12. This is Ezekiel 12, 25 and 12, and it reads, thus said Yahweh, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and had greatly offended and revenged himself upon them, and that's putting us in captivity, all of the atrocities, all of the rape, rob, and murder that Esau, Edom has dealt greatly with Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Verse 13, and it reads, therefore thus said the Lord Yahweh thy power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of the Dan shall fall by the sword. You see, and that's going into Babylon the Great. All right. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. You see, and how was he able to do that? And that's us being in the second covenant, with that new Jerusalem coming down out of heaven under new rulership. And that's what we're reading about here in Psalms, the second chapter, verse 7 and 8, building up to verse 9. All right. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury. And they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord thy power. All right. So this is what's building up right now. The judgment and the punishment that's coming upon Esau, Edom, it's going to be to Yahweh's anger. We can't get mad enough to deal with Esau the way the Most High want to deal with. He got to put that spirit on us. All right. Let's get Revelation 18. All right. Let's get that in verse 6. All right. Revelation 18 and 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double her double according to her works. And who is that? That's Babylon the Great. You see, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right. In the cup which she had filled to her double. You see, so them curses are gonna fall upon her. You know, and they're gonna get beat into submission in righteousness. Though, you know, we're not gonna do the foul things they did, like butt breaking and all of that stuff. But we're not gonna be nice to these people. Okay, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get that judgment. All right, and let's go ahead and grab Joel real quick. Let's get that Joel, the 3rd chapter. All right, we're gonna focus on verse 4 and probably through 8 maybe. And it reads, Joel, the 3rd chapter, verse 4. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? You see, will ye recompense me a recompense? And that's payback. That's what that means, payback. And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I turn your recompense upon your own head. And this is going into, the Hamites as well as the Ishmaelites too, because the Hamites, sold us into slavery, but the Ishmaelites told it on it. They played a big part in it. All right, verse 5, and it reads, because you have taken my silver and my gold and have carried into your temples my godly pleasant things. Verse 6 is going into it. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, which are the Edomites, that you might remove them far from your border. All right. Now, this had taken place, you see, which is in Deuteronomy chapter 28:68, because we walked out of Egypt and we went back into Egypt again on ships, which is spiritual Egypt. And, matter of fact, we can go ahead and grab that in Revelation chapter 11. Let's get that. Is that 11 and 8? Yeah. This is Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is Babylon the Great, which is spiritually called Sodom. Because what's synonymous with sodomy? That's that, alternative lifestyle to the latter people, that community people. In Egypt is synonymous with bondage, slavery, okay? Where also our Lord YAHAWASHI was crucified, okay? And how was that? He was X'd out, The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered up the faces of the judges thereof. They saying he's Caesar Borgia, all of those things, all right? Let's go ahead and go back to Joel in verse 7. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whether you have sold them, which is here. And that's what's happening right now, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And this is what this is going into right now. And let me go back to Revelation. Man, how is he raising us up? Through his prophets. And it's going to go into that in Revelation 11:11. And it reads, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of the life of the Most High entered into them. The spirit of life from the Most High had entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Who are the them? It's the Israelites. And we can prove that because it's in the same chapter. But it's at verse 3, and it reads, and I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,203 days clothed in sackcloth. And who are those 2 witnesses? It's the northern kingdom, Ephraim, and the southern kingdom, Judah. All right, which are the 12 tribes of Israel, and that that's going again into verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. That's because we woke up to this truth, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding And we believe through high priest Abba Bivens, and our apostles and elders on down, that, the Most High had woke us up. Okay. All right. So this truth, knowledge, and this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the true Hebrewites here today, this truth, that's what's going on in verse 11 here. The spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. All right. Let's go back to Joel real quick. This is Joel, verse 8. And it reads, "And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of the Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord has spoken it." Meaning that it's sealed, it's promised. Okay? And there's nothing you can do to get out of it, Esau, Edom. And also the judgment that's coming to you, heathen nations as well. All right? And that's how in Psalms, the 2nd chapter, verse 9, "Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them into pieces like a potter's vessel." This is what's taking place right now, And let's end it off. Also, we can I don't have to get it, but since I'm here already, might as well grab it. This is Revelation 13:9. "If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints." And we know the saints are the Israelites, which you can read about in Psalms 50:5. All right. So we're going to end it off here on Obadiah. Let's get Obadiah real quick. Where you at, Obadiah? There we go. This is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18. And it reads, "And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame." Okay. This is the southern and the northern kingdom. Okay. "And the house of Esau for stubble." So I'm going to read that again. Verse 18. "And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it." All right. So again, there it is. It's a promise. And there's nothing you can do to change that. And that's how, "Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them into pieces like a potter's vessel," because they going into slavery, for 1,000 years. And when that 1,000 years is up, Obadiah 1:18. All right. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Raha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and elect. Shalom.